Good day, good morning. It is the 1st of March, which means another chapter in my little yarn tracking notebook video series, whatever. This is the color I picked for this month, a little yellowy, and I will be putting a sticker up here. I haven't picked one yet, okay? I will pick one from my sticker stash. I have a little playlist on my channel with all the previous editions of yarn checking videos from November 2024 up until now. You can go back and look at those if that is something you're interested in. If you're just here for March, fun, same. Short summary in case you haven't seen these before. I use a kitchen scale to track my yarn used in grams. I don't track finished skeins, I don't save labels, anything like that. This is the most efficient for me. It's like, sometimes I color change a lot and then I have used a lot of yarn that day, but I haven't finished any skeins. That's why I do this. I use yarn in varying thicknesses from super bulky to sock yarn. I take a note of this. When I write down my grams, I write down like this was chenille yarn, or this was this type of acrylic yarn, or this was sock yarn. And then I know for myself, but it doesn't really change anything about the tracking. It's just plain grams. I wrote down my goals for March. I have started doing that and it's fun. And I look back at it when I don't know what to do on a certain day, so that's useful. So the goals for March are the kilo increments, just up to 4. I haven't hit 4 yet. I'm assuming I won't anytime soon. So if I hit 4, I'm gonna start doing it up to 5. Okay. Progressing on the cigarette blanket, progressing on the Big Appa plushie, progressing on my black and white spiral sweater set. I'm trying to make a full size range. I want to finish a sock that I had in progress and start on the second sock in that color. I want to make the whale plushie that I've been wanting to make for a couple of months now. I want to make chickens. I want to finish a shawl that I've had in progress for a while. And then the same as last month, I want to not buy any yarn unless it's for a commission. And the only yarn I will be receiving outside of commissions is in case I get a gift, get a trade, get a gift card, something like that. I think a trade is the most likely this month. I'm not sure. And then finally, I put down no 0 days. And what this is referring to is in January and February. I'm not sure if it was also in December. I'm not looking back right now. I had 1 or 2 days where I didn't use any yarn at all. And that is completely fine. I don't have to crochet every day, right? Like, that's not something that I'm forcing myself to do. I'm not forcing myself to do crochet every day. But I've noticed that if I've crocheted during the day, I usually feel better. It is very calming and really regulating for me. So if I'm stressed or feeling bad, which is usually when I have those 0 days, I should be crocheting. I should work on my double crochet blanket or do something really easy, and then I will feel better. That's why I wrote that down. If I have a 0 day because I'm too busy playing video games instead of crocheting, or if I have a 0 day because I'm out with friends and I didn't bring any yarn and whatever, completely good. That's mostly referring to when I'm feeling bad and I'm just like staring at my phone all day. And then if I were crocheting, I would feel better. That's my goals. I'll update you as soon as I have crocheted. Thank you. See you. Hi, on the first I used 2 grams of yarn from the Yarn Company and then 11 grams of chenille yarn for a total of 13 grams of yarn for day 1. Off to a great start. Hello, on the second I used 79 grams of acrylic yarn. Hi, hello. On the third, I ended up using 4 grams of yarn, 2 grams of this sock yarn, and 2 grams of this sock yarn. And I feel like I knitted quite a bit. I did like 6, 7 rows. But knitting uses less yarn than crochet, and this is really lightweight yarn, so 2 grams. Hi, Neo. Hi. Thank you, Neo. Hi, on the 4th I ended up using 41 grams of yarn, 6 grams of sock yarn, 2 grams of random scraps for embroidery, and 33 grams of chenille yarn. Alright, so on the 5th I ended up using 39 grams of yarn, 14 grams of sock yarn, and 25 grams of chenille yarn. And on the 6th I used 5 grams of acrylic yarn. Hi, okay, so on the 7th I used chenille yarn, 79 grams in total, spread over a few different colors. Hi, hello, so on the 8th I ended up using 52 grams of yarn, 50 grams of that was chenille yarn, 2 grams of that was cotton yarn for details. See you next time. Hi, hello. So on the 9th, I ended up using a whole 2 grams of chenille yarn. I did literally 4 stitches. That was it. And then yesterday, the 10th, I used 45 grams of chenille yarn. That was better. Cool. See ya. Hi. On the 11th, I used 47 grams of chenille yarn. Hi, hello. On the 12th, I ended up using 79 grams of chenille yarn. Hi, hello, on the 13th, yes, I ended up using 112 grams of yarn, 100 grams exactly of chenille yarn, and then 12 grams acrylic. Hello. So, on the 14th, I used 61 grams of yarn, and on the 15th, I used 14 grams of yarn. Hi, hello, the 16th, I used 27 grams of yarn, mix of chenille and acrylic. Hi, hello. I didn't record last week, like basically all week, so I also didn't update you about this. Last day we updated was the 17th, it is now the 24th. On the 18th I used 37 grams of yarn. On the 19th I didn't use any yarn. There goes one of my challenges. It was a valid reason though, I was just not home and I didn't bring yarn with me. I forgot. 20th, 16 grams, 21st, 44 grams of yarn, 22nd, about 5 grams of scrap cotton, and yesterday, 21st, 22 grams. Mostly acrylic over this period, working on a cardigan, a blanket, more of my cardigan, finishing up a plushie. Not a whole lot going on, barely crocheted, but still did something. Cool, 1 week left of this month. I just did some counting and currently we have yet to hit a kilo for March. I thought 3 kilos was like the norm for me, but apparently it's not. Maybe I was just being extreme at the end of last year. Maybe that was just it. I don't know. I don't know. We shall see how we go for the rest of this month. Hi, hello. Okay, so on the 24th I used 24 grams of chenille yarn. On the 25th I used 110 grams of chenille yarn, 7 grams of yarn from the Wee Yarn Company. And then on the 26th, yesterday, I went to a knitting club and I worked on a bunch of different projects throughout the day. Variation, got a lot done. Used 96 grams of yarn. And that doesn't sound all that impressive, but then when you're considering that I was knitting with sock weight yarn and crocheting with sock weight yarn most of that day, damn. Anyway, today is the 27th, and so far I have made a good start. It's barely noon, and I've already used 80 grams of yarn. Going good. I'll update you. Yeah. Hello, good day. On the 27th I used 142 grams of yarn. 64 grams of that was sock yarn. That's a lot of sock yarn. And 78 grams of it was chenille yarn. Cool. Hi, good day. On the 28th, I ended up using 32 grams of yarn, and all of that was sock yarn. So that is a lot. That was basically the whole day. Alright, see ya. Hi, on the 29th I used 21 grams of yarn, 20 grams acrylic, and 1 measly little gram of sock yarn. Hello. On the 30th, oh hi Neo. Oh, come here baby. Oh. On the 30th I used 61 grams of yarn. It was all acrylic but 2 different colors. About half and half, you know. Bye! Final day. Wow. Hi, it's April 1st. Wow. That went quick for me. March did not exist. So yesterday, final day of March, I used 52 grams of yarn. 2 grams of that was sock yarn. The rest was regular acrylic for my hexagon cardigan, which at total for the month puts us at 1,432 grams of yarn. Lowest number yet. To me this makes sense, and that's fine. I did use a lot of sock yarn. I worked with quite a bit of sock yarn and lower weight yarns compared to working with a bunch of chenille. So that's part of it, and the other part is that I've just not been very motivated to craft. I've not been wanting to do a lot. I've been busy. Yeah. For the challenges then, I still have one to cross off, and that is hit 1 kilo. I progressed on the cigarette blanket. I finished my first sock, started the second sock. I made the whale plush, 2 of them actually. I made chickens, and I did not buy any yarn outside of commissions, aside from using the gift card that I got, which counts for me. If I get a gift card, that's fine. So that's great. That's I'm not counting the kilo increments. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goals, and I hit 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. That's a passing mark, sure. What I didn't do was progress on the big appa. I wasn't expecting to get to that. I just wrote it down as a reminder that that's still a project I have. Progress on the spiral sweater I have going, which I kind of forgot about that. Finish a shawl that I've got going, which I've written down for next month as well, and the no 0 days thing. I had one 0 day because I just wasn't home all day and I forgot to bring my yarn bag. Whoopsie. Besides that, every day where I was demotivated or I didn't want to do anything, I did like 2 rows on my sock. 2 grams of yarn. Or I did 1 granny square or anything like that, and it did help. It did feel better than just not doing anything. So that's good. Good to know for me. The 0 day was kind of out of my control. Like, I could have remembered my bag, but if I leave the house at 6 AM, I will not remember my bag. Sleigh, 1.4 kilos. That's still a lot. I'm doing great. This is fine. This is good. Do I want to do actual math? 6.3 total so far this year? Top of my head, I am not good at mental math anymore. Kind of lost that skill. I've been practicing it again by just refusing to pull out my calculator to add up the grams. That's good. Yeah, I'll see you next month. Yippee. Thank you for being here.